Hi, welcome. Today we are going to explore how we can use Google Forms in order to make our lessons more interesting, more engaging for our students, have a really good data for our feedback as teachers, or let the students create using Google Forms. So let's start step by step. We are on our Google Drive space and we press new here and we are pressing Google Form. You can go to the arrow and you can start by blank form or a blank quiz or a template that there is in Google that is given by Google. If you press here Google Forms, it will create by default a form, not a quiz. You can always turn on the settings. You will see how a form to a quiz and a quiz to a form. So let's just press here. It will be a form. By the way, this is a form. If you don't want to go through your Google Drive, you can just press here, form on the search bar, forms.new, and again a new Google form will appear. This form will go directly on your and the Google account you have as a main one. So if, for example, you have a work one and a personal one, this will go to the by default on your personal one, but you can always change it and move it to the other one. But let's come back on the first one we created. We are giving a name here, the title. Let's say this one is a registration form to our drama club. Registration form, drama club. We can put a description like when it's going to be the drama club and what we expect from the students. We can also add a picture here. For example, here, let's put an image, drama, this one, insert. This search is happening on Google image search. So it's really what you're going to find when you're searching on Google, and it's really easy. The same option is given on other form, and I will put the image here. Yeah, on the description we want. And we have the image here. So we have the image here, and we can press here, for example, if we want it center aligned, so we can be more beautiful, and we can give the first question. What is your name? Just name, and you can see here Google is changing by default. It has the multiple choice and it went directly on the short answer. It has a AI technology that is understanding some basic ones, but we can always change it as we want. Short answer, paragraph, etc., etc. We can also put a picture here. It's going to be like, let's say I put a question mark. Again, we can play with the image, align it, etc. And an important feature is that you can choose if you want this question to be required or not. A required question is going to look like that. It's going to have this symbol here, and it's going to be mandatory for the students to fill in order to submit the form. You can see other type of questions, multiple choice, checkbox. The difference between multiple choice and checkbox is that multiple choices you can answer only one question. While checkbox, you can check as many options you want. Let's say we want also to add a question from an already, this is how we add questions. Let's say we want to add a question from an already existed form, file upload. We press here in. Let's say we want to add the question from an already existing form. We press here, import questions. I have already created some other registration form, let's say for another course, and I want to take all other questions I have already done. I don't want to type them again. For example, the age, what language they wanted the course to be, and let us know which days they work best for you. And I am importing these questions. They go by default where I have put the option to be. And you can see here the questions that they pop in from another quiz. Also, you can change how it looks from this palette here, customize theme. We can choose an image for the header. Let's say I want a random one, this one. Insert here. You can also always put your own pictures if you want. And also here it's suggesting me some colors that it's picking them. They're picked up from with an AI technology from the picture. Let's say, and you see it became all purple. Let's say I want another color. I press here. I take green, for example, and you can see everything became green. I can also change the font style. It can be like more um stylish this way. More difficult to be read. Let's say here I don't want to have a title like welcome, and our registration form is ready. Now, how you're going to share it with your students? You have two options. Either you send it here with the email of the students, or you are taking the link from here and you are putting it to your Google Classroom, for example, or any other system for communication you're using with your students. A good knowledge is that this URL is really big, so you can press here a certain URL and you can take it from here, copy, and you have your URL. You can give it to the students, and the students can click, and they can have access to your form like that. Click, and we forget an option here. Let's say you see here, it doesn't let me to submit it if I don't put my name. It has an error message. This is a required question, so I'm giving my name. If I don't give though my age, it doesn't have any problem because we didn't put it as a required question. So we submit it, and let's go back to our form. Also, if now you want to preview we just put the link to see how you copy the link, but if you want to preview your form, you don't have to copy your link every time. You just click, you see this eye, and it's opening the form for you, and you can use it as a test. And now you see here the responses, the response that I already did, my name, I didn't put my age. It's giving you the percentage of these questions. Also, you can see the questions by question, the answer, first question, second question. Or you can see it by the individual, everyone that submitted a response. So this is my response. So you can see also the flow of the thinking of a student. For example, if you have open-ended questions, you can see how they thought. Okay, and you can understand many things as an educator. Like, okay, they answered that there, so now I understand how they are the conclusion for them is this topic. So here we created a submission form. Also with Google Drive, with Google Forms, you can create the same way feedback forms or open-ended question forms, like getting ideas from the students. And the good thing is that the students can give anonymously any opinion they have, any idea they have. That's why I use it here for feedback in my teaching, because the people that you're asking the feedback, they don't have to give their emails. You're going here in settings, and you can see that the responses. I am not asking for the email. I'm not collecting their email, so I have no idea who answered what. Like the previous example we did, I asked the names, so I knew who gave what. But here I didn't ask the name and I didn't collect any email. If I click that, then Google Form, the form is collecting by default the email. But going back here, you see some questions you can give the students, like how did you feel about the course? You feel that you get the goals that we had, like this was the goals we had in our teaching with fellow teachers at the Jigsaw method teaching. And also they can free to write their answers, and here are the responses. You can see, get a really good feedback and a really good idea. Okay, this goal had quite a good average, but I had one person that was not feeling confident, but this guy had some troubles, and maybe we have to went back on that on the next course, for example. And here you can see the ideas, which if I had asked them face to face, they would have said, "Ah, it was a good course, thank you, bye." Especially when you have older students as vocational, they can be quite thoughtful, quite not too much too eager to say exactly what they're thinking because they know that maybe they hurt you, maybe you will feel bad. Kids maybe they don't have this kind of restrictions. But when we are going to vocational education or adult education or teenager education, they can be really not eager to tell you exactly how they feel about the course. So you can see here that they said some truths that maybe they wouldn't have. Also, I can have these results as an Excel, as an Excel file, and I can use it in any way. Someone can use a spreadsheet. Like I can arrange my data, make different kind of calculations, and see if, for example, if I had a bigger four. Now let's see how we can create a test. So new, we can create a test by clicking here a blank quiz, but let's go to the more traditional way. Maybe you don't remember this thing with the arrow, and we create the simple form. Now this form is giving open-ended questions. You can give any questions you want. If we want to create a quiz, we go to the settings, make a quiz, and now our students, they have to answer the correct question, what we consider as correct, or what we consider as it doesn't have to be always like the correct. You will understand what I mean. We can give points, or we don't have to always give points. Let's say we leave the points for the time being, and we are creating a quiz. And let's say I am creating a math quiz, math test, and my first question is 12 plus 10, and I'm giving, let's say, random answers. Okay, now it's really random, but you can have answers by different, that different levels of um, that you want your students to read. For example, you can have, okay, my students didn't understand them, how you can reach from 12 to 10, from 2 plus 0, like, or any kind of way, like as an educator, you know what they're missing. Maybe if they answer any question. So here, let's say answer key, I'm giving the correct question, which is 12. My students, uh, which is 22, my students, they will not see that. Only when they click, the system will let you know if it was correct or not. Also, in the answer key, we can have an answer feedback. So let's say on the correct, we can say, well done, continue. But this wasn't the correct. On the correct. On the incorrect, we can say, think about it again, or we can insert a small video. It's, for example, us that we are showing with some material, 12, I don't know, sticks and 10 sticks, and maybe we can ask the students, okay, can you count them now? So it doesn't have to be us. It's that something that we're going to do on a test with the kids at that time, showing them. They can do it by themselves and take the time and think about it again, or give a link to somewhere or something, or just think about it again. Think again. Really bad way to say it, but you get the point. And now our students will be directed, if they click 22, at well done message, and if they click any of the other ones, at think again. Something more is that we can create also sections. For example, if we believe that our students they don't need more practice, we can ask them to go on the level 2, or if we feel they need more practice, we can keep them on level 1. By the way, this is a different section. I just click here, section, and inside the section you can again put questions, or again, put any videos you want. Doesn't have always to be a quiz. You can just have some information. And you can go, for example, the next level. It can be bigger numbers in our example here. And you can ask your students here. Sorry, I gave two correct questions. I was inside the answer key. So you press here, and you're asking to go to the section based on the answer. So students are not going to see that. They're going to be directed there. If they answer 22, they're going to go on the level 2. They're great students. If they answer 24, you want them to continue being and let's say level 3. And you can ask them to go on the level. And let's say we create a level 3 that is more difficult, and you are proposing to your students to, and you are directing your students to go there. Oh, we confused level 2 and 3. This is a question of level. And now we created our different levels. And now, for example, we can press here on go to we created our different levels, and now we can press here, go to section based on answer, and if they have the correct answer, for example, we can direct them on the section 3, maybe because we want them there, and if they answer the other one on first or remain on the first, and etc., etc., you can have many options. And this is a simple test, but it's giving the options to the students to have their own learning path and their own choices. This same way of a test, you can use it, for example, to create a learning path. Just by a learning path, you don't have to measure it with a point or something. For example, you're giving a video and students are watching it, and you're giving understanding questions, and you're directing them to another point of the video, or based on their interest. For example, they can start with history of Athens, as we discussed, and then going to different paths following the test way by this section, but you don't have to give points or the correct answers, well done or something. They can be like, okay, now we move to the next session or something like that. Also, how we use it in another way, it's that we create an escape room. You can see it here. And on the escape room, it was the students, they have to look for clues on them, on links that we gave them. And it was an online escape room. And they had to look for links. It was an online escape room, and they have to basically fill these questions as you see them here, key 1, key 2, and they couldn't move forward if they haven't find the correct question from the game they have played, and they put it here, and only if they have find all the keys, they will be able to get outside of the room. It was like an spacecraft uh, story that they were stuck there. And you can give all the information, the links, and etc. for the students inside your Google Classroom, again, as we discussed. Or let's see here, let's do an example. We take it from here, copy, and we are putting it on our Google site. We created a site for this escape room. but we gave directions here. We gave directions. We had a YouTube video playing and explaining to our students what is going to happen, where we are. And for example, here we have the clues. You can, if you see here, you can press. Now it's a Google slide, as you can see, in the locked one. Like the students, they cannot alter it, but they can click on it. And we want to embed our URL, and we want it as a whole page. It can be a small one. No worries, we can always make it really small, like that. And I want it to be next to each other so it can be more accessible. So our students now, they have access to that next to each other. So if you see the website, it will be like what? It will be like that. This is our website. And you see here our students, they can go on this form and they can, here is like enter your username. It can be like amazing team, and they can move forward on the Q1. And now they have to look for the Q1 here. Do you see one? Ah, here's the one. Let's click. Let's play this game here. It's giving some, it's in Greek. It's giving some planets or some clues from Mars. I'm not sure what's the first one. In any case, and the students, they have to look. I had one clue, and now it's asking, oh, what was the name of the space what you found? And if it's the correct one, they can go now look for the next clue. And it's basically just organizing your gamification in a way, the way you made the game. Also, you can make, for example, a story, and you can it can be like, now we have a story. Like the first question can be like the beginning of the story video, and then it can be like, oh, what do you believe now that it can be like a real life story. For example, if you're teaching in nursing school, it can be like, and what do you think now the nurse should do? Should she does she go help the patient, or does she go where the doctor is asking her? I don't know what is relevant in your field, and then move the story on the way, like they clicked one and now they go to the next video, or they're going to hear another voice message, for example, the nurse give, and they're going to follow the choice based on their answers. And this, they're constructing the knowledge, and they are not just absorbing the knowledge, they're part of it. And this is the amazing part of a Google form, that it can go from a simple, really simple test and a simple collection of data, and it can, to an anonymous feedback um, that gives the opportunity to the teacher to have a better idea of your classroom, to the opportunity of the students to create knowledge and be part of it, and gamification of knowledge, or storytelling, or autonomous learning paths, and many other options according to your imagination and to your teaching methodologies. So that was it. Thank you so much.